Welcome to Autonomous Drone, Video 2.
I like to keep my electronic speed control on the bottom. You can put it on the top. It gives good cooling. Okay, electronic speed control. And you can actually run your wires through here if you want. Down through this hole. Like so. What you want to do is you want to go through one of these holes. The reason why I say is because you run your wires through this arm hole here. And then you tie it in to your soldering board like so. I'm going to put mine on the bottom. It makes a nice clean look. I've had them on the bottom on my F450, and the cooling, it still gets cooling, so that's the way I'm going to do mine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mount these motors, and then I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to come back with all four of them mounted. One major thing you need to do on your screws is make sure you put Loctite on them. You may have an unbalanced prop that will cause vibration and make your motor loose, which gives you a wobbly quadcopter. So we want to avoid that. Okay, I'm going to pause this video and mount my motors, and I'll be back. Okay, welcome back. As you can see here, we've got our motors nicely installed on all four arms. Up next, we're going to install the electronic speed controls. Like I said, I'm going to do mine under the arm. Here's my style of speed controls. I don't know if you can see that or not. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to mount mine underneath my arm like so. I'm going to do this for all three. Okay, now that we have soldered our speed controls to the board, negative, positive, we've soldered our female XT connector on this port here. It's coming out the back. What we want to do is we want to line these holes up with this corner like so. I don't know if you can see that or not. And then you put a nut on the back of it. But I'm going to put Loctite. And you do that for all four holes. And then you screw your solder board down to those holes with the screws that it came with this kit. I ran into just a brief setback on mounting this solder board here on these standoffs. The kit that they come with, the screws that comes with the kit are these two here. This one does not fit. It's too skinny. This one fits, but it's too long. And what will happen is if you use it, it will break off I don't know if you can see that, but if you look at it, it's actually too long, and it will break this standoff. So what you may have to do is go to the hardware store and get you some shorter screws that will run through that plate and then down into here without breaking this. Okay, now that we've secured our soldering board to the frame with the smaller screws from the hardware store and the standoffs, should look something like this. I don't know if you can see that or not, but this is what it should look like. As you can tell, it's really secure. It's not going to go anywhere. We're going to go on to the next project. Okay, you have your top plate here. And this here would be the top, and this would be the bottom side of it. When you screw it down here, you'll see that this here is for your FPV camera. And this slot here is for your GoPro, whatever camera you want to use. What we want to do is we want to mount our flight controller onto this board. Now this is the flight controller that comes with the kit, the F450 kit that I have in the parts list in my video. What we want to do is we want to use these rubber bushings here. We want to place them inside these holes. Now these work great for anti-vibration. Now you can use double-sided tape and just stick the flight controller to the board. You got to make sure that it's pointed forward in the right direction to the front of the frame. And you don't want it crooked. You just want to keep it straight. But since those bushings came with the kit, I'm going to go ahead and use them. The kit did come with this flight controller mounting plate. I'm not going to use it because if I can get away with it, this is just extra weight. So what I want to do first is I want to put these rubber bushings in this hole of this flight controller. Best way I've found out how to do it is squeeze them and put one corner in, and then take a flat blade, small flat blade, and push it in like so. They are a little hard to get in, but if you can work at it, you'll get this bushing inside this hole. I do highly recommend using these because of the anti-vibration purposes, as you can see. Now I found that it's a little easier to put the bushing inside this first and then put them inside these four holes here. Now when you put them in, the bushing is probably going to, it should stretch just a little bit to like the side, kind of like that. That's normal. You want a little bit of tension on it so it doesn't vibrate. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and install these and install it on the board, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that we've completed the installation of the flight controller, it should look Similar to this, as you can tell, the rubber bushings are a little stretched, but that's fine. It's very, very secure, and that's exactly what we want. And that's the bottom half, and that's how the bushing should stick through. Now on to the fun part, the placement of our other parts that we received with our F450 kit. We have a camera here that was on the parts list. I had to take this little bracket off of this 700 TVL camera. So what we want to basically do is you want to find the bottom. This would be the bottom. And then this came with the kit. This is a camera mounting kit. Now you may get a different FPV camera that doesn't have this case. This is a nice solid aluminum case. But this here is the top, and it fits in that slot just like so. And then it fits, then it'll fit in just like that. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's the two slots. So what I'm going to do is, there's really no way of mounting this or screwing it to this plate. So what I want to do is, I'm going to put a little bit of double-sided tape on the front of this and stick it just like that. Now I want to make sure that this is below, this top piece here is below this top part of the FPV camera mounting plate. And I want to make sure it's below this part here, the bottom part of the FPV mounting plate. And then what we'll do is we will stick it on the quadcopter like so. Now there's really no wrong way to install these parts, as long as you have sufficient amount of wire. Now this is the receiver for the FS FlySky IA6. So what we need to do is we need to determine our parts placements. Now you can put them on top, on the top plate. You can put them on the bottom plate. This is up to your discretion. Now we do have the FPV radio telemetry that we're going to be installing. And usually I like to put it on the top like so. So you could have your antenna sticking out. Now you do have your external compass here for your GPS. I usually like to mount it on this arm, on these 4 screws here with the arm. One thing you need to make certain is, I've zip tied this, but I may break the zip tie. You've got to have your compass where your wires can reach your flight controller.